Good morning, everybody. This is Martin John, and we are here to talk about the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching is a book. It's a text. It's an ancient text, so it was written a long time ago. And it was written at the same time a lot of scholars believe the Old Testament was being written in the 6th century BC. And it is filled with all sorts of enigmatic wisdom and text on how we might live a more reasonable life. When I talk about living a more reasonable life, I'm talking about a life in which we're not asking other things to change for us. We are stepping into our life knowing that there is this sort of law of attraction that's going on. So whatever I attract is coming from me. I'm attracting this, right? It's not just on its own coming to me. I'm attracting it. So whatever it is, I'm attracting. And when I can recognize that this is what I'm attracting, I can I can look at it from a state of awareness. I don't have to look at it as cause and effect. I don't have to look at it as myself being a victim to something. I can just look at it from this space of awareness. And as I do that, as I look at this text, as I go through these 81 chapters, I'm constantly just diving deeper into how it is possible to live even more reasonably. Even we can allow things to be what they are. We have all of these kind of pent up ideas about how we want things to be. But if we just allow things to be what they are, they tend to work out. We want proof that it's moving in the right direction for us. But the best thing to do is to let them be what they are and enjoy the moments that we're engaging with those things, rather than like holding on to them and thinking, oh, we want them to be different. It's like, no, what is this? This is why I talk about that idea of far out. That in my journaling today, I have a whole page of things that I kind of feel in my life right now are far out. Like I submitted the app to Google, far out. Like, let's see what that brings. I've been working on this mosaic, far out. I've been talking to new people in my life because I've been climbing, far out. Like all of these awesome things that are just, and some of them are in limbo. Some of them, I don't know what's going to happen, far out, right? Even if it is a little bit unnerving, it's still a space where I can express this comment, far out, where I can express myself in this place of like, let's see what this is going to bring, because who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? And I didn't know. I mean, maybe I could have guessed Lo was going to come up, but no, far out. Hey, Lo, what's going on?
Well, has to start her morning every morning with you, or it doesn't feel right. Sorry, I think my voice sounds really weird. I'm
No,
getting
you
sick.
sound, you were a little crackly, but you're good.
Yeah, I can feel it in my throat, which is bothering me, but it's okay.
Okay, let's take a pause. Let's so many times, like in the winter, we'll get sick and we'll be like, oh, I'm getting sick. It's the weather. It's the thing. It's this cause and effect mind that we have. But when you think about it's your throat, not only are you in a space where you want to be heard, and you're doing this library thing, you're also in court. These are things that have to do with your throat chakra, your voice, your ability to speak and be heard. All of those things are connected.
Yeah.
So when we can recognize, yes, okay, there is cause and effect in the world, but I'm also attracting this sort of throat thing.
Well, I did a chakra clearing meditation on. I do it occasionally, depending on where I have pain in my body, and I think I'm just sick.
Well, that's so okay. We want to. Good.
Yeah,
We'll leave it there.
I felt ill last week and it went away, and now and this weekend I was super busy. It was super fun. Talk about not knowing what is around the corner. It's very nervous about this faith conference this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to disrespect anybody. I also didn't want to be disrespected. I think that was a fear going into it, and it was beautiful, and I feel I worked so much this weekend and so hard, but it didn't feel like work. Um, it doesn't surprise me that my body is now running down, but I
Good.
have a very clear week. So, and you
Good.
know what? The thing is, too, is I came home yesterday and I was just done because, like I said, I usually have weekends off. And this weekend, not only was I there, but I was there Saturday morning till 2 o'clock in the morning and then
Yeah.
back in, at I forget what time, but it was just wonderful. And I came home last night and I was spent, and it's deep clean Sunday, which means we really are supposed to clean our apartment. And we are female, so we keep our place relatively clean. So it's not too bad. But I was just like, man, I need help. And I was so sick of cleaning up things because that's what I was doing all weekend. My roommates handled it and made me dinner. Like, not only that, but she brought me a plate. Like, she fixed it for me and everything and like brought it to me, did not make me get up. And I was just like, wow, like this is so nice. They don't have to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm raring to go this week, even though I'm feeling a little like my throat hurts a little. It's fine. It'll be fine. Gonna get some salt water when I go into the office here in a minute, gurgle. But I just feel like this week something's gonna happen. It's gonna be both good and bad, but I think it's something that I don't know. I just feel it. It's something needs to happen here. And I think we're right on it. And I'm very excited about this program. I just am. I think that the people who want to be here are just the talent and the skill, and all they need is just somebody that believes in them. And I do. I see it. I see, like, I just love it. I love it. I'm right where I need to be. It's amazing.
Can I pick a number for you?
Yeah.
You pick a number 50, and I'm not going to read my translation. I'm going to read Stephan Mitchell's translation. Stephan Mitchell is the author of a great translation. I think it was they're differing like numbers. I don't know why. I've seen it published. I think it was published the first time in the late 80s, 89. I think that's where mine says. But then I've seen others that say 91. So I don't know if it was rewritten or re-released or whatever. But number 50 says, the master gives, in this it says himself. I refer to the master as herself. So I'm going to change the gender just to say herself so it aligns with how I see it. The master gives herself to whatever the moment brings. She knows she is going to die and has nothing, and she has nothing left to hold on to. No illusion in her mind, no resistance in her body. She doesn't think about her actions. They flow from the core of her being. She holds nothing back from life. Therefore, she is ready for death. As a man who is ready for sleep after a good day's work. You know, when I hear you talk, and this is emotional because it's like you get to be yourself.
Yes.
As you're exploring and as you're giving yourself up, as you're giving up your identities, your identity of wife, your identity of mother, your identity, not that those aren't still there, but you give up those as the core of what Lo is, because Lo is so much more than all of that. And to give yourself up to what this moment brings, to allow yourself to be here, be present, and know, and this is a sort of important thing. You know you're going to die. You know that this is going to end, but you know that you can pass on your work. Your work can be done, and that will benefit people for a long period of time beyond your not being here. You're going to leave this house at some point, but your mark is going to be indelibly placed onto the space.
I hope so. I know so. Like, I don't know. Like, from the minute, I got here, I had concerns, I had worries, I had everything else, but just so many things were like, this is, just be patient. This is where you need to be. And I'm not a patient person. I'm not. I think everybody here who has listened to me at any time knows that I'm not patient. And I'm not somebody who likes to give up control. And I had to do both things. And you know what? Like, things worked out. And I didn't have to stress to make them work out. They just did. So.
And it says here, he doesn't think about his actions. They flow from the core of his being. And like in your actions, you're being inspired to do things. You're being inspired to start the library. You're being inspired to even be a bitch at times. And that is still coming from you. Because you still have things to learn just as well. And they're flowing from you. And when you can flow, and you can have all those nerves about the retreat over the weekend, and nerves about what people will think of you and what you will think of people, and judgments and all of that kind of stuff. You can have those things, and but you don't hold anything back. You still show up. And that's exhausting. It's exhausting when you're not holding back. I know someone who's starting a business right now, and she's not holding back. She's allowing herself to move into that exhaustion because this is what she needs to do right now. This is what needs to happen. You hold nothing back for life. Therefore, you're ready for death. You're ready for this to go because when you have put everything out there, however it's turned out, it's turned out. This isn't about you and the outcome. Maybe we get sidetracked by those things. Maybe that is something that gets us to put it all on the line. But we're doing it from the core of our being.
Yeah, and I just, like I said, my gifts are needed here. They're respected here. They're wanted here. People are so amazed when I come up. It's like I'm magic here. And I'm like, all I did was get on Google for a little bit and figure it out. And it's just like, people are amazed by it. And I'm just, and I forgot. I got to see our first GAP, our program's called the GAP Initiative. And
you broke up there. Your program is called?
The GAP Initiative.
Okay.
And we had our first GAP proposal. We have a couple that's going to get married in our program. And they are really like, I know a lot of people with recovery, and this program definitely discourage relationships, but we're all adults and they know that. But this couple is just like, they're so young and so beautiful. And so I was blown away that I got to be there, because I haven't known them very long. And, the guy that ended up proposing actually showed me his ring before he proposed and clued me in on what he was doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so freaking special. Like, I get to be in on this little secret. I knew that she was getting proposed to before she did. And I love that. I love that. So, like, it's just, it's going to be all right. I just know it is. And I'm not worried about port next week because you know what? It'll be what it is. And we'll figure it out and we'll get through it. And it's fine. It's all fine. But I'm telling you what, I'm seeing some people here that have such skill, such drive, such passion, such love. And, they're not, I want to be clear, they're not out there they're not going to do anything. Well, maybe they will, I don't know. But I'm not even talking about huge things. Like, I'm not so quickly we want to go to like, oh, this person could solve cancer. Well, one of my people could save somebody's life. Isn't that worthwhile? Just by being, an electrician and saving somebody from, an electric fire, because it's just amazing. They're just beautiful. They're just beautiful people who just, there are just so many. Like I said, I can talk, I can pick out the ones that I'm watching very closely because I'm like, you got something, kiddo. Like, I don't know what it is, but you got gumption.
Yeah.
So I love, and that's the other thing that was said to me this weekend. They were like, you were called to be a nurturer. And they were like, you don't have to be an active parent right now if there's other people to mother. And there are. And I miss my kids, but, you know, they don't appreciate me. And maybe they need some space away without me to remember what I did for them. And maybe I need some space. Well, I definitely need space from them to drop this anger because it's still there. And I know it's just too soon. It'll get dropped. But I'm grateful again for this kind of forced predicament I'm in because I'm telling you what, had this been any other situation, I would have gone over and really messed things up all across the board because I would have been
Yeah.
But I have to get ready to go stir some more coffee, and I'm sure you have other people, and I appreciate it. I hope everybody has a great week, and I'm sure I will talk to you tomorrow unless I lose my voice.
Okay. Well, I hope you keep that. All right. Love you, dear. Yep. So, I'm going to hang out here at 50 for a minute. For those of you who have my version, it's quite different. Not so much in context, but but just in what it's, in how it's presenting, right? So in mine, it's entitled Awareness of Death. Right. Mine is entitled Awareness of Death. And that does kind of take a turn a little bit because, Stephan Mitchell's, I really like Stephan Mitchell's because nowhere in mine is there this celebration of being exhausted because you just put everything on the line. It's hinted at, but there isn't like to really like, you know, he holds nothing back from life, therefore he is ready for death. Like, just putting it all on the line, putting it all out there for people to experience and for you to live. You know, in mine, there's these lines that say, the master lives aware of her appointment with death. This brings her to knowing real life. She cannot be harmed by a rhinoceros or man. Her movements flow from her being. She cannot be fooled by illusion or hallucination. Her actions flow from her being. So yes, there is this sort of third degree of, you know, the separation from this exhaustion, from this putting everything into your life that exists there. It is in my verse, but it doesn't do what Stephan Mitchell's does. And I'm not trying to, you know, get everything in my translation. However, like this idea that you hold nothing back from life, and then it relates that to a man ready for sleep after a good day's work. There's something amazing about when you do your work and you love your work to the degree that I do. You know, someone asked me recently what brings me joy, and, you know, they were talking about things, stuff that you do. And I was like, wow, that's, you know, I don't know. And then I just said, my work brings me joy, no matter what that work is, right? Whether that work is my self-examination, or if that work is the mosaic that I'm working on, or if that work is my app, or if that work is, you know, my diet, right? Because my diet's part of my work. So is the exercise that I do in the mornings, or the climbing that I do in the afternoon, or whatever. All of these things are my work because they give me outcomes, right? In time. And some, like, I do my diet and, I can help heal my MS, or at least support my mitochondria so that my mind is thinking clearly, so that my body stays supple and young, right? So all of these things can happen in my life. I'm doing this work, and that brings me so much joy. And in Stephan Mitchell's, and for those of you who have been following Tao of the Day and my conversations around Tao, I normally read my translation. I love my translation. I think it's a great translation. However, no translation can capture everything. And there is something that's captured in Stephan Mitchell's text that really, that isn't in my translation. I don't think it is in my translation anywhere. And this verse is one of those that really this is why I love Stephan Mitchell's translation, even though I think some of his translations are not as great as this one. Number 50 is definitely one of the ones that I think is kind of on point. I'm going to read it again because if you guys have my translation, this one again it is different, and I'm going to go ahead and read it as it's written. Stephan Mitchell does go back and forth between using female and male pronouns. Mm-hmm. This is one in which he is using male pronouns. So the master, when we read mine, it's always she, but this is different. So just keep that in mind when you're listening. My rules and his rules are definitely are different. It's kind of like if I play cribbage, and sometimes when I play cribbage with people, I have to be like, hey, these are the rules that I play by, so, and we have to, like there's no mugging if you guys are familiar, there's no stealing points and things like that. It's a friendly game. I don't want to play competitively. I want to have this thing be a thing that we do together, and it's fun, And so my rules are a little different than Stephan Mitchell's, and so the gender thing is here. So the master gives himself to whatever the moment brings, and that's a beautiful thing. Anyway, it's like, right, if we can give ourselves up to whatever this moment brings, we don't have to. That means we're not approaching this moment with expectations. We're not approaching this moment from a space of knowledge. He knows that he's going to die and has nothing left. And he has nothing left to hold on to. No illusion in his mind, no resistance in his body. The master gives himself to whatever the moment brings. He knows he is going to die, and he has nothing left to hold on to. No illusion in his mind, no resistance in his body. We accept and we receive. Like this is all revolving around receiving. There's no illusion in your mind. There's no preconceived ideas of what this is going to be, and no resistance in your body. We're not resisting whatever it is that's presenting itself. This tends to speak to the idea of you are open to receive. If you are open to receive, you can find harmony, right? So you open yourself to receive, whether it's in your body, like I'm open to receive my MS. I'm open to receive, yes, I'm going to do the things like keep to my diet, take my supplements, do all the things that I need to do to stave off that thing, but I'm not going to resist it if it comes. I'm not going to focus on the negative stuff. I'm going to just do what I have to do, and if that doesn't work, so be it. We'll move on. Apparently, it's working. I think I might have talked to you guys about my MRI. I did have a lesion that shrunk considerably, although that lesion was inflamed when it got scanned last. So shrinking is just part and parcel for what an inflamed thing does. Moving on to the next section. He doesn't think about his actions. They flow from the core of his being. I wish I could get to that point. I think about my actions so much. I'll do something and then I'll think about it. I'll do or I'll think about it and then I'll do a thing. I'll think about how I'm going to do a thing. And then it's like, I mean, of course, if I'm, when I'm building my house and stuff, but in terms of relationships with people, sometimes like I think about what I'm doing. I much prefer to not think about what I'm doing. I much prefer to just like let it happen because it's going to happen anyway. And it always ends up happening. It always ends up happening anyway. I'm going to bring up Marianne.
Oops, I had an accident.
Oh, nope. Gotcha. You can go away if you'd like.
No, actually, I have been, Carly, I mean, it kind of all fits into the whole situation with letting people be. And, my daughter, Carly, yeah, she's living van life right now. And
in Minnesota.
No, she's in California right now.
Oh, okay.
So I think she's on her way back, which is it's been so nice. I've had the house to myself for 3 weeks. So I am kind of struggling because it's like, I think she'll be back this week, but I am loving so much not having her here, which sounds horrible to say, but I like it. But then I've got all these other people on the outside, like my son's like telling me, she could move into his place because he's moving to cities. And I got a teacher who's saying, are you worried about her? Because she's doing some kind of risky things out there and posting it on Facebook. And so.
Well, that's a lot, but ultimately you're feeling good where you're at.
Yeah. I mean, what do you mean?
Like in terms of like being alone at home and like right now.
Oh yeah. It's so peaceful. It's like I come home and it's quiet and peaceful. So.
Yeah. No, that's so important to be able to, because when she moved in, that was just a whirlwind.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what that was going to do, but you were open, of course, to have her move in. But now you get to, this is sort of like the withdrawal and the when we start to drink coffee at 16, 17 or whatever it is, we start drinking coffee. And then we get into the rote sort of just drinking coffee every day. You drink coffee every morning and it becomes like a little joke. It's like, oh yeah, no, I'm awake, but I didn't have my coffee. Things like that. And that's like getting roped into a mindset in which you're now arguing for your own limitations. You're saying, I can't wake up without coffee. And this relates back to Carly because you brought her in and you weren't necessarily ready for all the changes that were going to happen. And slowly those changes became implemented. And your life changed considerably while she was living there. And your assumption of what life was changed.
Mm-hmm.
You have a different expectation. And now that she's gone, you get to take that deep exhale. And this sort of reminds you of what it's like to not be taxed.
Right.
From that perspective. This is kind of like when you get off coffee, you have that headache, but then on the other side of that headache, if you can get beyond the withdrawal, because you probably had some withdrawal you might have been excited to have Carly gone, But then a couple days later, you were probably like maybe a little lonely, maybe a little withdrawal, maybe a little burr. But then you get into that, oh, wait, this is actually standard. This is actually the standard for me.
Yeah, so it's hard thinking she's coming back.
Right.
And so, yeah.
And, yesterday I was writing notes for the app and stuff, and I was looking at this, It's So Easy. The one that says, it's so easy to stop something before beginning it. It's so easy to, break something before it's grown strong. And it's like this idea that life is not without its problems. So problems turn out to be no problem at all. Right? Like here you are facing like your own truth, and maybe have to have a conversation with Carly about what that looks like. But who knows what is next? And you have all of these other people like reaching out and saying, hey, there are other options.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I see your point, but I also know the one option is they don't have jobs. And
right. I'm not saying that there's anything needs to change, but you get to see yourself from this perspective. From the perspective of like, oh, I like to have my space to myself. You've known that.
Right.
But, just like this 50 that we were reading says, the master gives himself to whatever the moment brings. And the moment may bring Carly back. But you're going to have to figure out your anxiety behind that all. Because it's not about her.
No.
There's something about you and giving up. This could still be about giving up your firstborn, giving up your only child status. This still has to do with that.
Oh, because now she's coming back, and now I have to share again. So.
You do have to share again. Like and so this is a deep lesson. It's coming back. You're not, and you can even see within yourself that you're not willing to not share. It is your job to share. It is your path to share. But how do you do that without animosity? How do you do that without that
losing
stress?
Myself, and letting them take over the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hard part. And yeah, it's for me kind of like standing up for myself. And that sounds really stupid with, it's kids. They should, but it's, it's one of the areas I work on is letting someone else run stuff.
And when you were a kid, you had no voice to express yourself. Now you do. But how? You don't know how to do that because you didn't have a voice. Now you have a voice. How can you be honest? Because like when you get into that space, and if Carly or Sophie or whoever you're dealing with is louder than you or, more brazen than you, then they may take the role in your mind of the authority. And they're not kids in your mind, because they're the ones that are pushing back. And then you feel like you're in trouble. You feel like you're weak.
Right.
And that is the goal of people sometimes, is to be like, I want them to feel weak so I can get what I want. But you still need you need your boundaries for yourself. You have a number?
No.
Okay. You were going to say?
Well, and I think that goes for, I got all these outside people that are like, well, basically, you should tell Carly not to be doing this because whatever. And it's like, I have no control over her.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. But inside,
And
that makes me kind of in turmoil because it's like, there's the people pleaser part. It's like, I want everyone to be happy, but I can't. I mean, it's Carly. She's living her life right now.
that's right. And I picked a random number for you, and we got number 30. Tao does not dominate. Governing in any capacity when led by Tao doesn't use force to gain power. So you're not going to tell Carly, do this or you can't stay here. Right? That's because that would use force to gain power. Every force applied will suffer an equal counterforce. So violence, however it is intended, will always rebound upon oneself. Violence, but also distrust, right? And other things like that will always rebound upon oneself. Because every force applied will suffer an equal counterforce. So if the force that you're using is love and acceptance, well then that will be returned to you. And not pushover. Don't be a pushover. You do need boundaries. And if those boundaries are created from a space of love, not necessarily for what you think is best for her, but what is best for you, then that will come back to you. Again, it's not about her, it's about you. Where armies march, briers grow, and in their wake follows hunger and villainy. And that's metaphor, right? The briar is a place where nothing is going to grow. And you don't want that kind of a thing between you and Carly, or even you and other people that are around you. And in their wake follows hunger and villainy. And that, again, is metaphor about, you're starving your relationships. And you're starving yourself for, and the love that you have between you and the people that maybe you govern, quote unquote, right? But use force to do that with. The last part says, skillful in what she does, the master achieves her goal and stops. Neither forcing nor manipulating further, she knows that dominating goes counter to Tao, and whoever opposes Tao will certainly die early. And that's really what you're going about doing, right? You're appreciating your alone time. Mm-hmm. You're really happy for that. And that is going to inform you about new limits that you might have for Carly or for yourself when Carly's there. And that may inspire you to have a conversation that you couldn't have months ago or weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think you're right. I just don't know. Yeah.
You don't know.
I don't know. And I already am worrying. I think that's the thing, is I'm already starting to worry about her coming back in whatever this week. So instead of being, and then when she gets here, she gets here.
Right. And when she gets there, because you don't know what's going to happen when she gets there. And you may want to consider that, okay, these feelings of yours, rather than what to do about them, just kind of sit with the anxiety a little bit. Because if you can sit with that anxiety and you can kind of just look at it, it will shrink. Because it feels overwhelming right now. And, like I mentioned earlier, it's easy to stop something before it's begun. So as soon as you know that anxiety's there, breathe into it, look at it, focus on where that's coming from, and see if there's anything that that's not true, right? Like, you don't know what's going to happen when she gets back. So all that story, You don't know how it's going to be. You don't know the conversation you're going to have with her when she arrives. You can try and predict that conversation, but you know, once you get another person in the room, everything goes out the window.
Right. And, I think with Carly, I'm the opposite of her. So it's like, even if I went in with this plan, she's so much more chaotic than I am. So
Right.
I think that's part of my anxiety. It's like, I never know
Right.
what's coming with her.
And I think that, don't play, it's going to sound weird. Don't play her game. It's kind of like if we're doing a sport and your skill is defense, but your opponent is coaxing you into playing offense. You have to keep playing your game. You have to keep playing. You have to keep approaching this really because it's your experience. Yes, you're going to have to go to meet her where she's at, and you can't expect her to be you, right? You can't expect that from her. Susan, we're going to get to you very shortly, but I want to finish up with Marianne. You have to approach that with the mindset that, I need to approach this calmly, not chaotically. And she's going to want to make it chaotic. And this is where, that verse about let the host of conflict exhaust themselves. It's like, you're not here to conflict, but you recognize that there's new boundaries or new things that you have to communicate or whatever. I don't know what, but you want to be able to be present with you rather than get wrapped up in her.
Right.
Because that's what's already happened. That's why I mentioned the thing about the coffee, because you're under the influence of her. Because when she came in, she established the relationship she was going to be having with you. And you just kind of let her in and then said, okay, let's see what happens. And then you lost yourself along the way. Now you see yourself again and you're like, oh, can I live this way? Can I still be me if Carly's here? How is that possible? And you have to figure that out because you have to be yourself in the world no matter who's around. So you have to figure out how to be yourself even when Carly's around without having to ask Carly to be anything different. But
seems like a lot more work for me, huh?
Well, it's always worked for you because you're the only one. You're the only. This is when the Tao says, look, everything in the universe is being sustained as part of the gift of your life. You are the only one. You're the only one that matters in some respects. And Carly's being sustained in support of your life, in support of the gift of your life. Now you can go ahead and take that as a selfish thing and say, okay, well then I'm just going to kick Carly out and Carly doesn't matter. Yes, that's technically true. But does that help you at all?
No.
Right. It doesn't help you at all. So ultimately, it's always going to be on you. And that's why there's that one verse of the Tao that says, the master does her work and doesn't expect the same of anybody else. It's just like, you just do your work. And it's like, you better love it because if you don't, it's gonna get tiresome.
Right.
So yes, it is going to be more work for you, but that's going to lead you to loving yourself more, being able to love Carly more, Carly being supported more, Carly being able to be more. But ultimately, she's going to stay with you, and you're open for that. And so you're going to have to find out how you can allow that to happen without losing yourself.
Right. You are right. So, okay.
Okay. I gotta go do it now.
Yeah. So.
You're doing great, Marianne. It's perfect. And yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, but you're doing great.
Thanks.
All right. I love you. You have a good day.
I love you too. Thanks, Susan, for waiting.
All right, we're going to bring Susan up. Susan, my dear, good morning.
Martin, John.
Daylight savings, it's a little later for you now.
Did we have a time change?
You didn't, we did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. I'm much more awake than I am at 4:00.
I know. Yeah, I'm so glad. Yeah, so I'll be on 5:00 for you from now on.
Oh, my life is good. My life is easy.
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
wonderful.
easy, Martin. Yeah. You sound great this morning.
Oh, I am great. Life is good.
Yeah. I don't have much to say. I was so shocked to see you come on at 5.
Yeah, time change over the weekend. Today you didn't miss anything. It just everything is good. Everything is beautiful.
Yeah.
So you don't have much going on?
Well, I actually have a whole lot going on.
I figured.
This is my season, we've got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, and I'm going to LA.
Is the Korean family, right? Are they coming?
They're not coming no.
Okay.
No. But I did see them over the summer. They flew in.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, but I forgot all the Korean that I ever learned.
Oh, well.
I was so excited to learn it when they were coming, and, my mind just was like a feather. It flew out.
It's all right. They'll understand.
Yeah. But
and they're not coming,
today.
So you can just continue to forget.
And I don't have to clean my ceiling fans.
No, yes, that's good.
Actually, nobody's coming here. I'm debating whether to go to LA or to Phoenix. I think I'm going to go to Phoenix because I have so much here. I'm doing the food bank again. I'm working with the food bank as far as distributing food, and especially
that's needed so much.
Oh
right now.
My God, this week is going to be a zoo because everybody snaps cut off. Yeah, and then the candy wagon is open.
Yep, I remember the candy wagon.
Yeah, it supports the food bank. So I'm, of course, working that multiple times, over 10 times before Thanksgiving. So I don't think I'm going to be running over to L.A. But my son can't come anyway. His son is in a basketball tournament. He made junior varsity team in L.A.
Nice.
And he's so excited. So they're going to keep the fort down in L.A. and I'll probably just go see Jess for a couple of days and come back and do my thing.
That's right. Life,
That's what I do.
All of that kind of stuff. All of those are those rarities, those exceptions. But it is just the day-to-day stuff of just living that we really. When I talk about Tao and stuff, like that's the real beautiful stuff. It's like when your life is the gift, when your life just day to day, and there's nothing like in conversation when you can be like, well, kind of nothing's going on, or this happened or that happened or whatever, but then there's really nothing more to talk about. It's just like, oh yeah, no, life is easy. I don't know. I'm just going about my day, doing my thing.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of just being sort of in love with yourself and in love with what you do.
Exactly. Day by day. I just wait to see what's going to happen. Just like you.
I know. Far out. What's
far out.
How's this going to turn out?
Yeah.
Let's just watch it.
Yeah.
You got
I
a
love
number
my
for
life. 62.
62. Did that just come up, or were you planning 62?
I've thought about it this morning a little bit. It just kept coming back.
Oh wow, this is poignant to what we're talking about.
Oh, goody.
Everybody's treasure. Tao benefits all things, a treasure for those who know, an opportunity for those who don't. To witness one act or speak to gain position, know they are under the influence of manifestation. Be like Tao. Do not abandon them, for knowing Tao is learned by example. Therefore, when a new leader takes office, Don't offer words, gifts, or actions. Offer instead to teach them Tao. Why is Tao so universally loved? Because if you acknowledge it or not, Tao is your treasure, always in harmony, every mistake forgiven.
I love it. People, I just lost what I was going to say. Yeah. People ask me, why I have life so easy, why I just am so happy every day. Because I really am happy every day, almost. And I say it's because you just got to let happen what's going to happen. And they say, well, this is going on, and this is going on, and this is going on. What difference does it make? Because it's going to happen the way it's going to happen anyway. There's no reason to worry about, your finances or your health, because everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to work out. I now describe myself as a Taoist. I'm so entrenched in this train of thought that I love the way I'm living. But
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love this because, the first lines of this, Tao benefits all things, a treasure for those who know, an opportunity for those who know. So it's a treasure for you.
Yeah.
And because you only know what you know, there are going to be moments in which you're going to have experiences that are going to take you out of that happiness, take you out of that connection with Tao. Remember, like last year when you had to, clean the ceiling fan.
Yeah, but I wasn't in this mindset.
You weren't in that state. No, I understand. So it's not going to be a ceiling fan this year. But there may be things, you may overextend yourself in a place or whatever and not pay attention. Just like Marianne, right? Marianne's out there. She allowed her daughter to come back home, and now her daughter's gone and she's happy, and there's like, oh wait, this is who I am. Well, we don't have to lose that just because Carly's coming back. But that's the thing. It's a treasure for those who know and an opportunity for those who don't. There are going to be times in our lives when, and I still have these happening, like where you get pulled out of that nice mindset and you're stuck in the manifestation for a moment.
Yes.
But that's the opportunity, because those are areas in your life where you don't know Tao as much. You don't trust as much. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust things to, and all of these people that, how can you be at peace knowing that there's all of this strife in the world? It's just like, well, when I realized that my strife was my doing, maybe that strife is the doing of those that are affected by it. And now that I love myself so much, I'm actually not affected as heavily. And I can say it's difficult when, you come across people that are homeless or having really hard time. But when you give them love, you look them in the eye and you're not ashamed, when you can really be grateful that they're having that experience, really, so you don't have to, because like the experience that we're having is our work, and the experience that they're having is theirs. Right. And there is beauty in this. There is beauty in the balance of this. And there is an opportunity for everybody to be where you're at, for everybody to love their life. There is opportunity there. And at every given moment, everybody has the opportunity to move in a direction of appreciating this moment for what it is and appreciating this sort of Taoist approach to life, and know that there is harmony.
Right. So many people just miss the harmony because they're so concerned about what's going to happen tomorrow or next week. Or I remember talking about change of attitude. I remember the last election, our discussion, and I'm in a whole different mindset. I don't even watch the news.
Yeah,
I literally don't watch the news.
There's nothing there for you.
No, nothing. It's all the same. Blah blah. Blah,
and it
blah.
doesn't matter who you're watching; it's all the same.
Exactly.
It doesn't, this side, that side, you're the opponent, you're the this, you're the that, but it's all names and labels and.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to say, the food bank here was really concerned because we know we're going to get slammed this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we were afraid we weren't going to have enough food. And all of a sudden, all these people from the community kept coming in with boxes and bags of food, literally carloads of food. It was just like we are overstocked. We couldn't put everything in. So
life is easy.
Life is easy. That's the truth. Anyway, that's about it.
I'm gonna continue talking about this, but I can let you can jump down. I love you. I'm so glad that our time change has happened.
Oh man, you and me both.
Yeah, you can get some
I
rest.
love you too.
All right, we'll talk
Talk
again
to you soon. Bye.
Bye. This verse continues: to witness one act or speak to gain position, know that they are under the influence of manifestation. The worry that the food bank wouldn't have enough food is someone acting or speaking to gain position. Like, I know they're not trying to gain position as like a political position, they're not trying to gain position in the community or whatever, but it is like worry in and of itself is trying to gain attention, right? Trying to be like, we can't do it. Like, there's no reason to put your energy towards that. There's no, like, I should take that back. There is reason, because there is purpose with walking with life as there is walking in death. Yeah, with death, and I recognize that. And so it's good. But if they're trying to get attention, if they're trying to get whatever, like, recognize they're trying to recognize they're under the influence. They're under the influence of manifestation. Manifestation looks like a certain way. There's going to be so many people, and there's just so much to worry about. There's so much to think about. But it says, be like Tao. Don't abandon them. Sit back and say, yep, everything's going to be okay. It's going to work out. We're gonna, and if we can't feed everybody, we can't feed everybody, and that's going to have to be okay too. But I'm so grateful that the food bank has all of the food, and that people stepped up and are giving food to feed their neighbors, and doing it from an open heart. There will be people that go to the food bank and will be angry that they even have to be there, angry that the lines are so long. And again, those just present those individuals with opportunities to know Tao a little bit better. When they realize that anger didn't help them, that anger didn't move them forward, that anger didn't have them doing things that they like that they did. And it says, therefore, when a new leader takes office, don't offer words, gifts, or actions. Offer instead to teach them Tao. We look at the world today and we can see words, gifts, and actions being offered to to those in charge. They're not knowing Tao, and there's no opportunity. And that, of course, there's always opportunity, but when you have all of your needs met in that physical way, what's coaxing you to pick up that opportunity, to look at the opportunity, to be different, to challenge yourself, to, start the journey that Marianne is on, which is difficult and never ending, right? Why is Tao so universally loved? Because if you acknowledge it or not, Tao is your treasure, always in harmony, every mistake forgiven. And what that means, right? It's like, how did we get to mistake? Because the mistake is doing something that raises the question of, is there another way? Is there another way to do this? That's your opportunity to see Tao. That's the mistake, right? So when, again, these are riddles, right? So we don't see the word mistake anywhere. And it doesn't matter how long it takes you to recognize Tao in your life. Tao doesn't care. It's always present, allowing you opportunities to know the treasure Tao presents. And when you see it for the first time and you start to move towards it, it will not judge how long it took you. It will not judge you for not believing in it. It will not judge you for denying it. It'll just say, welcome. And now you can be who you are. And it's a long journey to be who you are. It's not something that we do overnight. We can make big moves quickly, but it's something that once we are kind of up to date, right? Once we've shed all of this trauma and other stuff we picked up along the way, that next step is just, happens in that daily routine, little by little, and we keep growing, we keep maturing. It's a long path of maturation. I'm so glad that I've been on this path for a while, and I'm glad that you're joining me too. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm Martin John, and if you benefit from the things that I talk about here, please consider supporting this show. You can check out my profile, and from there you can get links to support me through Venmo or buy me a coffee. I'm so grateful for everybody that joins me. And yeah, my app did get submitted to Google. Middle of next week, I'm going to try and submit it to Apple and see if I can get that over the line. But as of right now, we're moving forward. We're trying to get this over the line. And once it's over the line, I'm going to be excited to be practicing my Spanish so I can go on the Camino next year and, getting back to my crocheting. So there's plenty to do. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.